Hey, I'm Steve from This Week with Cars, and this is my Auto Union 1000 estate car. This is the successor to the DKW 3.6. These cars were rebadged to wear what we today know as the Audi symbol. Audi and DKW got together with two other companies, and that is the four rings that we know in the Audi symbol today. These cars are very rare in the United States, and an estate car is rare anywhere in the world. The estate car was only made for a couple years. Let's take a look at it. Okay, let's take a look around this car. As you can see, it has suicide doors. I don't think this door opens. It's frozen right now. We can get in on the other side. Coming around the back. This is an estate car. Has one single door. Opens to the side. You can see there's the gas tank, a few wheels. I'm not sure what all these wheels go to. I don't think they all go to this car, if any of them do. You can see the rear seat is folded down right there. Looks pretty complete here inside. The headliner is fallen down. Fuel tank is right there. That should be underneath the car. There's actually another floor underneath this floor, and the fuel tank sits in between those. The light housings are there. There was little reflectors that would have been below that. That's where the gas filler is. It's pretty interesting that there was actually an Auto Union dealer here in Iowa. This car came from Cedar Rapids. You can see the Auto Union logo right there. You can see in the middle where the rear seat would be, has sliding windows that open. Let's take a look inside the car. You can see there is a big mess in here. I did see some of the original wheel covers over there on that side. You can see down here on the floor, I think this used to be a possum. And over there is a raccoon, I believe. So, this thing is kind of a mess inside. I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot more stuff underneath that back seat. So, really needs a good cleanup in here. The keys are in it. The steering wheel actually looks in pretty good shape, as do all the switches and the gauges. Looks like it had a radio at one time. Do I dare open this? Well, it won't open right now. We'll open that later. Coming back around to the front, we'll take a look under the hood. Okay, what you're looking at here is a 3-cylinder 2-stroke engine. You can see it is actually water cooled. Back here is the ducting for the heater on the inside. I don't think this reservoir is original. There's a big hole down there where the battery used to sit. But I think for the most part, it's all complete. There may have been something wrong with it that caused the person to park it, but it doesn't appear that they had started to take much apart. So the first thing I'm going to do is clean this up a little bit. Okay, I've got the car cleaned out and washed off now. The windows look a little bit cleaner. The big difference is inside. The animals are now gone from the floor. We can get a good look at the dashboard. Look at the seats here. The back seat is now flipped up, and it was actually in good condition. You can see the floor down there. It's actually in good condition as well. Original mat down there. All the doors are now open. Have some of the hinges sitting with penetrating oil on them. Here in the back, you can see one of the original hubcaps. Two of them were found. One of them is already outside. Check that out. That's a original gas filler with the Auto Union logo on there. A jack, a trouble light, trim for one of the windows. Looks like that's the trim that went here on this rear window. Around here on the side. There we go. Okay, looks like there's some really good stuff in here. What's this made of? The glove box is made of cardboard, but luckily the animals didn't get in here. So let's take a look at what we've got. Here's some work done in Kentucky in 1966. This one here is some work done at the dealer that sold it originally, and this is 1965. Insurance. No, this is a card for tires. Let's see what this is. Something out of Better Homes and Gardens. This is instructions on how to clean your seatbelts. Here's the original owner's manual. This is pretty neat. It's in very good condition. And then just some other miscellaneous things. I guess that probably went right there. Some kind of handle for something. A couple of them. So cleaned up pretty good and found some really interesting things in here. Put this stuff back. Looks like the original color was called Diamond Blue. So I just noticed something. There is a 3.6 logo right there, which is the earlier version of this car than I thought this was, especially based on the grille. Maybe they put that there in all the cars. Maybe it was an American market thing. I'm not sure. There's a name right there, Fred E. Anderson. Maybe that's the original owner of the car. I don't know. There's a lot of questions to be answered with this thing. It's a pretty rare car, not an easy way to get a lot of information on it. So let's see what else we can find. This has got to be the original key. You can see the Auto Union logo in there. Wait a minute here. It says 1961 DKW right there. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is take the spark plugs out and see how bad that looks. I think I'm just going to take these wires off as well. Okay, that one actually doesn't look too bad. They have corrosion on them, but they could be a lot worse. This last one is probably the worst of the three. So now we can see down inside the cylinders, you can see the tops of the pistons there. Obviously some rust and stuff fell down in there when I took the spark plugs out, but they don't look completely horrible. Now I'm going to pour a little bit of oil down into each of the cylinders. One nice thing about these cars is the entire front grille comes off, giving you access to the engine. Now we can have a better look at the engine. You can see this is the old belt right here. It's kind of stuck to the crank pulley still. Over here you can see the fuel pump going up to the carburetor. The pulley came from the crankshaft up to this pulley right here, which goes underneath the coils and drives the fan there in the back. Coming down here, it's pretty neat. You can see the Auto Union logo in the casting there. And then down here on the front of the crankshaft, this is where the contact set is, and this takes the place of the distributor. So you can see there's 3 contacts there, one for each cylinder. I think for now I'm going to remove this, so I am going to have to remove the bolt on the generator and the bolts that hold the contact set in. I'm going to spray everything down with penetrating oil first. Okay, now I'm just going to lightly tap this and see if it comes loose. Okay. You can see the condensers on the back. Looks like there was a broken bolt in there, so it's a good thing I took that off. I'm just going to place this off to the side for now. You can see that broken bolt came off of the crankshaft pulley. One of the heads is missing right there. Let's see if the engine will just turn over by hand. It did move. It does move a little, you can see that right there. So I'll just wiggle it back and forth a little more. I need to try to make a full rotation with this. Let's see if this strap wrench will give me the leverage I need to turn this. Nope. The other thing I can try is put the car in gear and rock it back and forth and let the drive line try to turn this. Okay, the shift linkage must be stuck. I cannot get the shifter to go into a gear. This right down here is the shift linkage, so I'm just going to give that a little tap and see if I can get it into a gear. I think I'm going to take this front pulley off and see if there's anything I can do. If I put a couple bolts in the crankshaft, I might be able to use them. It looks like 2 of the bolts were actually broken. One of them was still held in there, but the crankshaft pulley was really only held by this one bolt. So I have a couple problems right now. One is that this is a 2-stroke engine, so that means that the oil pan is not filled with oil. So the crank is very delicate, especially for being sitting for so long. So I need to think if I want to take the broken bolts out or just disassemble the engine completely. What do you guys think I should do? Post in the comments below. So that's as far as I can go today on my 1961 Auto Union DKW 1000. There is a lot of really neat features about this car that I still want to show you. However, I'm going to leave the fate of this car up to you guys. So if you want to see this car again and see me do more work on it, you're going to have to comment below and subscribe. The amount of comments a video gets indicates to me what you guys want to see. So if this video gets a lot of comments, this car will be back.